What's up, guys? We are back with part 2 for friendships and friendship breakups. I know I had to go in my last video because my laptop was about to die. It was not plugged in, and I honestly needed to go to the gym before a certain time. So I came back and I was like, I gotta finish this for y'all. So if you haven't watched part 1, go watch part 1 first, or listen to part 1 first, wherever you're tuning in from. But yeah, I mean, like, let's pick up from where we left off at. I was talking about how I have really great female friendships, and that, obviously I have experienced some not so great friendships as well, too. And I have also been the friend who was not so great as well, too, long before I did any healing. So that's why working on yourself is extremely important. And not only just like going to therapy, but really implementing and integrating what you want in your life and becoming that version of yourself. My business mentor, she always tells me, like, we need to become the client that we want in our containers. We need to become the ideal client. And I think that we need to do that in our friendships as well, too, in all of our relationships in general, because relationships, like romantic relationships, they are one of our deepest reflections, and they definitely mirror back to us our deepest wounds. But I also think, too, with really close friendships, that the same things can happen, where we can be mirrored back a lot of things. Because, yeah, I mean, like, I've definitely experienced, like, competition wise in friendships, and it's just such a fucking weird feeling. Like, I just don't subscribe to that anymore with anybody. Like, if I even feel that slightly, I mean, I just change my whole dynamic with that person. And maybe I'm not cutting them off completely, depending on who it is, but yeah, I just changed that, because I'm like, I'm not here to compete with anyone. And I literally can't. And I mean, what I'm saying is, like, I literally can't compete with anybody, because we're not meant to. I'm me, and I'm wonderful. You're you, and you're wonderful. And we can be wonderful in our own little ways, our own big ways, I should say, and still thrive and succeed. Like, we don't have to be against each other. And those are the friendships that I want. And those are the friendships I have too, but I'm just saying, for new friendships, it's like, yeah, we gotta be really discerning. And I want to encourage you to be picky with your friends, because, I mean, y'all know that saying, the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most, you literally become them. So who do you want to become? And if you don't have those people in your life yet, go out and find them. Seriously, go out and find them. Or go to a podcast that you admire, or someone that you admire who maybe you don't know, and binge their shit. That's what I did. And it is a complete identity upgrade. Because you need to, if you want your life to change with your friendships, and you're going through a breakup with your friend, you got to decide to, and look at both sides. So look at the side, obviously, like, where they faltered, but being honest with yourself too, and asking yourself, could you have possibly faltered? Looking at the times where there might be, like, over codependency. I have definitely, many years ago, been a codependent friend. And I know what it's like. I also know what it's like to have someone who's codependent on you. I had a friend one time. She's a lovely soul. Okay, I just want to preface this, that she's a lovely soul, but really struggled with boundaries. Okay, like, a lot. I remember that I just felt like she was really offloading onto me a lot, and I told her, I said, you know what? Like, and it was through voice notes, and I'm the queen of leaving long ass voice notes. I try to be really mindful now, but it was just a lot of messages, and I was just so overwhelmed. I felt like I and this was wounding in me too, where I just felt like I had to save her. I had to, I just had to be everything to her, because it was like any problem that came up, it was like, let's call Sam, and it's not that I didn't want to support her. Of course, I cared about her, and I love her, still love her, even though we're not friends. But I just had to remember telling her, like, you know what, like, I can't hold these long voice notes anymore, and it's a lot for me, and I want to be able to support you, but yeah, like, it's just like, please stop leaving me like really long voice notes. And they weren't just like random voice notes. It was always about an issue, And this is the thing, like, I used to be in like a push and pull with this belief around, like, my friends had to be available for me 24/7, and it was really coming out of that belief system too. And I guess she was still in that, where people needed to be available for her 24/7. And so she was like, okay, yeah, no problem, I totally get it. And she seemed really receptive to the boundary that I set. But then continued to send me voice notes and was just like, I don't even need, this is what she said, I don't need you to listen to it. I just like needed to say it. And like in my head, I'm just like, well, why wouldn't you just record yourself on your phone? Like, it didn't line up. And I just felt like it was really selfish in a bad way. Like, really selfish in a bad way, to like, oh, here's all of this stuff, like, even from an energetic standpoint, here, I'm gonna pour all of this out onto you, okay, just so it's outside of me, but I'm just gonna pass it on to you. And I think that's I think that's mean, obviously, like, she's not trying to be mean, of course. No one is usually trying to be mean intentionally, right? But I mean, she's conscious enough to know, like, if someone sets a boundary and says, hey, like, please stop doing this, but then does it again, like, to me, that's just like blatantly disrespectful, right? So when you are vetting out new friends, or even old friends too, where you feel like you've been taken advantage of, you gotta really look at, like, what do you feel is a high quality friendship? And I want you to take a moment and write this down. Like, what do you feel is a high quality friendship? And I'm about to tell you too. I always want you to explore things on your own, but I feel like you're watching this because you want to know more about it, right? So a high quality friendship is where your friends are, I mean, we can go in so many different directions with this, but let's talk about the boundary setting first, since we just left off with that in the story. If you're setting a boundary with someone and they don't like it, or they get angry or upset about it, like, I want to let you know that's a red flag. That is a red flag. Okay. It's different when someone is asking to understand your boundary a little bit more, to understand you, and be able to support you in the way that you need. So for example, if you're setting a boundary, like, maybe you're saying, hey, I'm going through something, I'm not going to be as available emotionally in this moment, or in, the couple of days or weeks or months, whatever it is, because I'm going through my own shit. And they continue to try and push your boundary by, either guilt tripping you or continuing to communicate in the ways that you've asked them to kindly stop, at least for the moment, right? And then there's a difference where someone is trying to understand your boundary, where they're asking you questions about it in a way that comes from love and compassion. So maybe they're like, hey, okay, I just want to clarify what kind of communication is okay for you right now, or is there no communication right now? Like, I want to respect you. I want to make sure that I'm not crossing any more boundaries. And I also, too, want you to be okay. So just let me know if you can give me some specifics. Like, that is a beautiful way of when someone sets a boundary, that's a beautiful way to actually make them feel seen. And I mean, we can say, oh, okay, and that could be great too. Like, I love that too, because like you can just be like, oh, okay, and like respect their boundary, and but I also think it's great to get clarification, because if you really love this person, um it's and they're setting a boundary, it's likely that they actually care about the relationship, and they care about themselves. And if you're their friend and you care about them, you want to support them in the way that feels best for them, right? Not in a way that feels best for you, right? I mean, there comes a time where obviously this has to be reciprocal. It's not just about them, but especially if they're going through like a really hard time. I think that's too. That's when I set a lot of my boundaries more verbally, because a lot of people don't understand too. This is more of a problem before, not so much now, but with myself. And I remember my friend Katrina. This always stuck with me, and she knew the line of field that I was in, and she's like, and I didn't even tell her about like friends offloading onto me or anything, but she was like, your friends should really be asking you if you're able to hold space for them before they even offload onto you or talk to you about certain emotional things because of the work that you do. And I felt so seen in that moment. I was just like, yeah, you're right. Because, and I mean, like, this was so many years ago, but I just remember being like, yeah, you're right. Like, she really made me realize that I didn't have to be available for everyone, even if I love these people, right? Even if I want to support these people. But also too, something that I've learned over the last few years, I think since I started my business, is that your friends can be your support system. I think we need that. But if you're treating your friend like a therapist just because they're a good listener and they're in tuned and they're intuitive and, all the things, that is not fair to your friend. And I am honestly saying that because I've been that friend before. And I feel grateful to one of my really close friends where like her and I, we kind of, at one point we had a bit of like a rocky point in our friendship, but we talked through it. And also she had let me know that there was a point where like I was a lot, and it was a lot for her because she was going through her own stuff. I didn't know she was going through her own stuff, but she felt like, she didn't have space because I was just like almost over taking up space in not a good way, So the reason I bring this up is because we just don't know what people are going through, and that's why we have professionals like myself. That's why we hire people, because your friends are supposed to be your friends, and a lot of people are bonding over or creating friendships over, negative experiences, and it's great. Like, I mean, I want you to share your vulnerabilities with your friends and your experiences, I even I've caught myself in this recently too, and I've had to really pull myself back and be like, whoa, hold on, like, because if you're only building your friendships off of your grief, your trauma, and it's only just that's just building a friendship on drama. It is. And then so what happens when nothing is happening in life that is like ground shaking? Are you able to enjoy each other's company? Are you able to like go and do fun stuff? Are you able to talk about happy things? Like, we gotta start talking more about the good things that are happening to us too. And that's not being positively toxic. What is it? Toxic positivity, whatever it is. That's not what it is. But also too, the more that we give energy to a certain thing and we keep talking about it in loops and loops and loops, well, that's more of what's going to surface in our life. and in our friendships as well too. So I want you to think about, what do you want your friendships to be based on? What do you want it to be based on? Do you want it to be based on fun, on trust, on like laughing? Oh my gosh, do you know those moments when you're just laughing with your friends and you just stop and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like, we need more of that. And yes, we also, like, we're here for people as well too. So when I talk about like your friends being your therapist, I'm not saying that you can't share things with them. Okay, but what I'm talking about is the constant offloading onto them. And are you asking them if they're in a space to hold it? Right? We got to be mindful of that, because we honestly just don't know what people's hearts are going through, and it's not their responsibility. It's not. Yeah, anyway, I'm super passionate about friendships, relationships, because like this is my shit. This is my shit because I don't know, I just feel like I've just been through it all, and I have a lot of lived experience through it, and obviously like my clinical trained experience. But yeah. So I want you to just focus on what you want your next relationships to be built on, your next friendships. And how can you start embodying that and becoming that? Because once you start becoming that, and once you and really becoming that, like, be honest with yourself. Okay? Be honest with yourself. You're going to start to see huge shifts in your life and what you're tolerating, what you're not. Like, in all honesty, since this last, like, in the first video I had shared about something that happened with a recent friend, you know, and I look back at that friendship and I just realized so much. Like, there was a lot of disrespect happening. Like, you know, my home is so sacred, and I just feel like my home, my time, like, it's just like, those are like the two most sacred things, and obviously my heart. And when you feel like those things are being taken advantage of, or people are monopolizing your time, yeah, like, time is definitely a huge thing for me. Like, that is my biggest pet peeve is like, don't be late. Don't be motherfucking late. Or if you are, I mean, it's fine if it's once in a while, obviously, or if you're a few minutes late, that's fine. But like, let me know, let me know. Don't monopolize people's time, because that's when things start to feel like too much for the other person. So if you're expecting other people to just give you all their time, honestly, especially if they're a business owner, like, you gotta understand that they just can't. Like, people don't understand until you're a business owner too, that, and that's one of the things that actually made me like value my time. But anyway, don't monopolize people's times. Be respectful of it, right? And also too, you gotta decide what boundaries you're gonna set for this next level friendship that you're calling in, right? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys with that, and I want to invite you into my one-on-ones, whether you are going through a friendship breakup or like a romantic breakup, or maybe you're struggling with a lot of self-worth issues. Trust me, I have honestly been through it all. And I know you're going through, I know that sometimes it can feel like a hell living in your own body and your own mind, because you don't know what to do to heal the shit that's happening inside of you. but I want, like, I am a living testament that you can change your whole life. I have started a whole new life here in Mexico, and I've just created a really beautiful life for myself. And this is where actually I did a lot of my healing and continue to do so. So, I mean, it is possible for you to change your life around completely. I've done it many times and I'm going to continue to do it. And those are the people that I want to work with, who maybe you're at the beginning of your healing journey and you feel like nothing is possible for change in your life. I mean, I might not be the best fit for you, but if you have that mindset of like, no, like shit has to change for me, like there's just no other option, then yeah, I want to invite you into my one-on-ones, because I want to work with people who are dedicated to their healing journey, and not only dedicated, but they're gonna do whatever it takes to change their life, to get what they want. And I say that because, like, I have been that person. And even though I've had mistakes, I've had setbacks, I've never failed myself. Never. And even through the failures, like, I've failed forward. You know that saying, like, failing forward. Right? I want to teach you how to fucking alchemize your life, even if it feels like it's in shambles. And it truly comes down to your relationship with yourself. And you got to get serious with yourself about how you feel about yourself, how you're going to show up for yourself, how you're going to take care of yourself. Because that's when shit actually starts to change. When you stop putting up with the bullshit from other people, the bullshit from yourself. And I say that with so much love, because I definitely needed to hear it in that way in order to level up. You don't want people to wait on you. You don't want to be second option. Start putting yourself as a priority. And like I said, get honest with yourself. Like, truly. Because there's been times where I'm like, yeah, I'm putting myself as a priority. But then I wasn't. I was neglecting myself. And I want to be clear, just because you're going to therapy, yes, like, that's so honorable. I know, trust me, like, I was in therapy for a long time and it helped me so much. But you alone just being in therapy sometimes is not enough to push the needle forward. It can be helpful, but what happens when those sessions are not there? What happens when no one's watching? That is what truly defines you. Because if you're continuing with these performative actions, then that's another mask that you're wearing. And my dream is for people in relationships and friendships is just to take all the masks off and be you, all of you. Like, you're gonna not waste any time doing that. And as well, is like, that's also a way of protecting your heart, of just being you. It's like, people get to, like you or not. But at the end of the day, you have to like yourself first. You got to love yourself first. As cliche as that sounds, it's like, you really have to love yourself first. Because when you have that, like, unshaking love for you, and you know in your heart that your intentions are so fucking pure and they're so good, regardless of your past, regardless of, maybe the negative thoughts that you might think, right? We all have them. Okay. But when you know yourself and you are rooted in yourself, like, you just literally stop giving a fuck, or give less fucks at least. And I want that for you. I honestly want that for you, because I'm just tired. Like, I've been through it myself. I'm just tired of seeing people and surviving. Like, it's exhausting. I don't want you to be exhausted anymore. I want you to be living a life that feels nourishing and rejuvenating, where you can, like, just that sigh of relief. Like that. Imagine a life. Imagine that life where you're just in relief and you can just be you. You can just say whatever the fuck you want to say. Obviously, like, we're not going around to like hurting people's feelings, but it's okay to have your own opinion. It's okay to trust yourself and honor your core values. Don't wither yourself, don't wither your boundaries, don't wither your core values just to meet other people where they're at. Because the right people for you are going to be in full alignment, or they're either going to respect where you're at. So I know it's hard with these friendship breakups. I just know that it can be really challenging and it can feel like a piece of you is gone, but trust me, this is probably the best thing that's happened to you, and you have to find the gold in this. And you might not see it right now, but I want to take you through this process of up-leveling from this friendship breakup and take you to a place where you're in your unshakable self-worth and you're respected. And when shit like this happens again, you're walking away with full confidence. Yeah, maybe you're feeling a little hurt, but you're like, yo, I know my worth. I'm out. You know? So send me a DM on Instagram if you're interested in coming into my one-on-ones. It's going to be absolutely life-changing. And yeah, stay tuned for more episodes on Safe Haven Sanctuary. I love you guys. Bye.